the mind begins to understand that we're going to connect with our breath. And because the mind likes to have something to do, it can count the breath. We'll take a nice long inhale through the nose. Let it out with a big sigh. One more time, deep breath in. Big sigh out. Returning to normal breath in and out of the nose. Eyes are closed. Notice what's happening in the thinking mind. Maybe nothing, which is awesome. Maybe a lot of chatter. Just kind of watch it as if you were watching children on a playground. And then begin to turn your attention to your breath. Watching it move through the lungs all the way down. Nice and low. And all the way out. And so I'm going to grow quiet. I'm still here. Just focus on that breath. We're going to take 5 nice breaths. And on the next inhale, grow long in the crown. Feel those shoulders drop down. Maybe invite your elbows to draw down towards your hips. And then exhale, allowing the chin to travel to your chest, opening the back of the neck. Do this slowly. And when you meet resistance, just hang out there and breathe into it. Allow the opening to happen on the exhale. Inhaling the head up. Exhaling, turning the head to look over the right shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to look over the left shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling up. Exhaling, looking over the left shoulder. Inhaling center, exhaling, looking over the right shoulder. So you'll have our pattern here. Find your rhythm, match your breath to the movement. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling, growing long through the crown. Exhaling, looking over the right shoulder. Inhaling, growing long through the crown back to center. Exhaling, looking over the left shoulder. That's your pattern. 3 parts here. Find your breath. Find the movement, the exhale that fits where you are today. We're going to do 5 of these, 5 rounds. So that's 5 in each place.
I just wrote right here.
Okay. 4 more. Exhaling down. Three more. Notice if you're beginning to move quicker. And if you are, slow it down. Sometimes when it gets quiet, we have a tendency to speed up. And this is the time to really soften into the journey. 2 more rounds. See if you can slow it down a half a pace more. So as you tip that chin to the chest, can you sink a little deeper? Exhale a little more. And then inhale, filling those lungs as if you're drawing the air in as you lift the head. And then exhaling, looking over the shoulder. Inhaling, growing long, drawing that air in. Exhale. Inhaling, center. Last one, last round. Here we go. Nicely done. As you bring your head back to center, take a nice long inhale, lift that right arm up, exhale it across the body, encouraging that shoulder to open, and then look over that shoulder. So we're doing some twisting in the neck today, and we're going to take it a little deeper here in a minute, but just starting here. Find your breath, breathe into it. Last one, inhale and growing long. Opening the arms wide, nice inhale, exhale, cross that other arm over, other side, look over your shoulder. Drop out of that shoulder. I have a tendency to get my shoulder clear up to my ear. What would it feel like to just draw that down? Look over that shoulder, breathe into it. Nicely done. Inhaling, opening the arms wide, exhaling them down. We're going to move right into tabletop. Don't worry, twist will be coming later. Not to worry, they'll be there. Finding our tabletop. Beginning with that tailbone. Slide that tailbone down and lift that belly button up. Create a nice, strong foundation here of table. Draw those elbows in to face each other. Lengthen through the crown. Let's have 3 long breaths. Bring that belly button up. See if you can really imagine me coming around, taking a hold of your waist, inviting that belly button up, breathing into it. 2 more. And last one, static. We're going to keep this motion and we're going to begin to move with it. So inhaling, dropping that belly down. Really lift that tail up and make it exaggerated. And then exhale the opposite way, exaggerated. Inhaling it down. And exhaling it up. So lots of exaggeration here. Exaggerate in your breath also. So when you think you've exhaled enough, see if you can do a little bit more. And then inhale, begin the inhale, begin movement. And as you come into that full cow, this is cow actually. Inhale a little bit deeper. Feel that belly button drop a little bit lower. Feel those hips hinge a little bit more. And then exhale it up. This is such an important movement in our life. Keeping the spine supple and open and flexible, following the inhale and exhale, so that our hips can remain free. The pelvic girdle is a free moving unit. And a lot of times, as we move through life, we gather experiences and we tend to stiffen through the hips that then cause low back pain, knee pain. It radiates up and down. So if we keep the spine supple, keep the hips moving, such a great place to start. We're going to do 2 more of these. Inhaling all the way down. Sometimes you'll hear some popping and moving. That's okay. That's the spine just opening up, going where it needs to be. Exhaling all the way up. Last one, inhaling all the way down. Really see how much you can just exaggerate this movement. Feel it. Exhale it. Feel that crown lengthen as if you're going to set your head on the floor. You're a long way from the floor, so you won't. Maybe tip back just a little bit, feeling that spine open, and then inhaling back forward, coming into full tabletop. Now we're going to go the other direction. We're going to inhale long through the crown and exhale first to the right side. We go to the right side first because this is our ascending colon. And then we inhale to center and we exhale to the left. So this is a C spine, so you're hinging at the hips. So inhaling center, exhaling, hinging at the hips, looking. Inhaling center, exhaling, hinging at the hips. Now, remember that this is still with the belly button lifting up, and if you feel that sag happening in your low back, slide that tailbone down your back, lift up through that tailbone. I mean, not the tailbone, but through the belly button. So the tailbone sliding down, the belly button's lifting up, creating a nice flat back. We're going to do 2 more of these each side. Inhaling, exhaling. Might begin to feel the intestinal tract move in the morning. Always a good thing. Emptying out, getting ready for a new day. 1 more. Inhaling, looking over that right shoulder. Look for that hip. Can you see it? Can you see it? Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, looking for the left hip. Is one way easier than the other? Just notice. Inhaling, coming back to center. Sink back into your knees. If you have the space to do this, sink back into your knees. Come over your knees. Roll the body over the top of your knees. Set your forehead onto your mat. Walk your hands out in front of you. So this is less about how deep you go, more about folding the spine over. This is a deep forward fold. Go to whatever your level is. Breathe into it. Take a break because we're going to start to begin to build some heat. Inhaling, coming back up into your tabletop. Reestablish that strong tabletop. If you need to touch your back to see if you have a drop in it, then do that. A sink in it feels kind of like this. Encourage that tailbone down. Lengthen through the left arm and the right leg. Balance. This might be you today. If not, if the leg's not with you today, that's okay. Lower it down. And we're going to breathe into it. We're going to hold it for 5 long breaths. And then we'll begin to move with it. So if this is you today, that's okay. Work it. Drop out of the shoulders. Still work to bring that core to center. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Now lengthen through the fingertips to the toes on the inhale. Exhale, draw it in. Ha. Inhale it out. Exhale it in. Ha. Inhale it out. Exhale it in. Ha. 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 Make some noise at home. Ha. 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 Faster. Ha. 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 Keep going. Ha. 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 5 more. Ha. Ha. 3 more. 2. 1. Reach it out. Stretch it out. Stretch it. Breathe. Hold it. We're almost there. Your muscles might be burning. Exhale the hand down. Keep the hip up. And lower it down. Sink it straight back. Fold it over. That right, left, the right arm is one I was holding it. Might be a little bit sore. Might be a little burny. That's okay. Always work to your level. If you find that it's burning too much or hurting too much, then stop until you can go again. So the rule of thumb is go until you can't, start when you can. So whenever we're working, builds a great metabolism. Inhaling, coming back up. Reestablish that tabletop. Double check and make sure your hands are directly under your shoulders. If you're too far out like this, then it really begins to burn through that shoulder because it's working at an angle that it doesn't need to. So it's kind of like stacking your Lincoln logs. Lengthen through that left leg. Lengthen through that right arm. Here it is. Find your balance. This might be you today. And remember, if you can't do the leg, don't do the leg. And do the arm. If you can't do the arm, do the leg. 3 more breaths. Last one. Really make it long. Reach those fingers, reach the toes. Exhale, draw it into it. Slow it first. Ha. Get the routine. Ha. Bring that chin in too. Ha. Engage that belly button. Ha. Pick it up. Ha. 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 Make some noise at home. Ha. 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 Pick it up. Ha. 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 5 more. Ha. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach it out. Stretch it out. Stretch it. Let that hand come down. Keep that hip up. Square it off. Lower that knee down. Seeing straight back. Find your breath. Good work. Notice, was one size easier than the other? Maybe different things were easier than the other. So for me, my right shoulder worked harder, but my left knee was working harder. So each side had their own challenge. Breathe into it. So from right here in child, walk your hands to the left and lean into that right hip. And it doesn't matter how far down in this you are. You could be up in puppy like this. You're still going to get the release through the gluteus medius, the piriformis. Inhale, walk your hands back to center, walk them the other way. Sink into that hip. There you go, good job. Breathe into it. Inhaling, walking those hands back, coming back into tabletop. My mat has a tendency to walk, and so if yours is too, flatten it out. I kind of get all over the place. Find that tabletop again. Breathe into it. So we're going to lengthen through the right leg this time, straight back. Engage that belly button to the spine. It might be nice here to invite the pelvic floor in, and then bend that knee to a 90-degree angle as if you're going to set your foot on the ceiling. And then we're going to lift up and down. So that hip's lifting up and down. And it might start to burn. Mine is. And we're just going to work through the hip here. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Square off that tabletop. Lengthen through the left leg. Bend that knee as if you're going to set your foot on the ceiling and lift it up. Up. Now, I have a tendency to lose it in my core here. So I have to really think about sliding down through my tailbone, lifting up through my belly button. And I like to give a little lift in my pelvic floor for that extra stability. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Bringing it down. And we're going to go right from tabletop, bringing that right knee forward into low lunge. If you're a block user, you can bring them in now. We're going to sink forward into lunge. Carrie, you might do these lying on your back, bringing your knee to your chest. Okay. We got Carrie back in class. He's almost ready to lose the crutches. Been over 5 weeks since he fell out of the tree, but he's doing much better. Thankfully, no broken bones. Sinking forward, inhaling back, sinking forward. Now you can do these at whatever speed you want. I have a tendency as I begin to sink into them deeper and my muscles are warming, that I begin to slow down. So exhaling. Now, if this is tough on that back knee that's on the floor, fold your blanket, put it under your knee. Protect those knees. And if that's not comfortable at home and you don't have a blanket, you can always come up on your toe and do it in high lunge like this. So wherever you're at in your body, 2 more of these. 1 and 2. Now sink forward, sink all the way forward, drop out of those shoulders, lengthen through the crown, place that left hand next to the right foot, spin right on open to a twist. On the floor, you're crossing your knee across your chest. Find your breath, stay with it. Okay? Okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out here for a second.
Breathing into it. If that arm gets tired up in the air, you can drop it behind your back, spinning it open a little bit deeper. Opening that shoulder. Inhaling that hand back up for 3 more breaths. 2 and 1. Inhaling, exhaling, coming all the way down, lengthening straight back, straight back. So square off those hips, lengthen through the crown, tip the chin, and begin to reach forward with your heart. Now, in a perfect pose, this knee would be straight and your heart would be laying all the way down on it. So my perfect pose is my knee is bent. I'm working to engage my core by drawing my belly button back and sliding my tailbone down and lengthen back in my very most perfect pose, feeling my hamstrings opening in their time. Two more breaths. And last one, lengthening, coming up, sinking forward, drawing that knee back into tabletop. I want everybody to roll back over into child's pose. This would be knees at chest if you're on your back. And just notice the right side to the left side. Taking a little break here. Preparing for the other side, feeling how those hips are opening, rising back up, coming back into tabletop, bringing that left foot forward, sinking forward and back. Forward and back. Again, support yourself. If you need blocks here, use them. If that knee is uncomfortable on the mat like this, you can either go into high lunge and do this, or place a blanket underneath your knee. It's okay. Props are good. Oftentimes in yoga, less is more. It's not about how deep you go, it's how deeply you honor your body. Sinking forward, exhale. Inhaling back, you'll begin to notice that mine are slowing down because my muscles are warming and I can feel the stretch begin to lengthen in a little bit deeper. And exhaling back. And forward. And inhaling back. And exhaling forward. And one more, inhaling back. That about even. And exhaling forward. I find that I have a tendency to cut the one side, the left side short often. Sinking forward, place that right hand next to the left foot and spin all the way open. Breathing into it. Find your strength, sink forward. Sink into that knee, sink in forward. The other forward. There you go. Find that twist. Where does the twist support you? Tip that chin slightly, lengthen through the crown. Feel that spine elongate. Spin that hand around behind you, put it behind you, open up into a deeper twist. Keep breathing. Inhaling then the hand back up. 3 more breaths. And inhaling and exhaling, coming down. Stepping that foot back. Sinking all the way back. This time, open the knees wide. So if you're on the floor, on your back, you can open your knees wide into your armpits because this is the exact same movement right here. The only difference is that when we're in child's pose like this, we have the weight of the body to encourage us to go down. When we're lying on our back, we must use our arm strength to pull the knees in. Breathe into it. You can't get your knees into your armpits. Lying on your back, you can put your hands behind your hamstrings and pull from there. Nicely done. 3 more breaths. And last one, inhaling, rising back up into tabletop. Step your right foot forward. Okay, lift up and then step your left foot forward to meet it. Coming into standing forward fold, heading up. We're going to drop all the way down. If you can't touch the floor and you have blocks, use your blocks. If you need to bend your knees to touch the floor, you can do that. So from right here, we're going to engage that belly button to the spine, slide that tailbone down, and we're going to twist into that left hip. So walk your hands over to the right, lean into that hip, feel it. We're after the gluteus medius here. Gluteus medius needs to be open and supple. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling, your hands go the other direction. So feet should be parallel, side by side, toes are even. Lengthening long through those hamstrings. Belly button's lifting up, supporting that spine. Nicely done. And coming back to center. Shake the head no. Shake it yes. And then inhaling, engage that pelvic floor and roll yourself up. If you have to help yourself, do. Walk yourself up. Coming into standing mountain. Here we are standing up. If you're dizzy, open your eyes and have a look. Find something to look at. Breathe into it. Notice what it feels like to be standing on your feet. Are all 4 corners of your feet connecting to the mat? Inside, outside. The ball of your foot and the outside edge ball, the little toe, underneath the little toe. Lift those toes up. Feel that tailbone slide down and the belly button lift up. And then set the little toe down. Notice where your balance is. Are you square on the mat? Now the 4th toe, which is a lot of times with the 4th toe, all the rest of them come down. 3rd, 2nd, and now the big toe. Now, as you set them down, make sure that they're just being placed on the mat versus gripping the mat. Very nice. Breathing into it. We're going to turn to face me. So whatever direction you have to turn to face so you can see. Taking one wide step open. Turning the left foot to face the front of the mat. So we're getting ready for triangle. Inhaling the hands up, looking over that front hand. So just get the sense of being here. Play with that pelvic floor, that belly button, the tailbone, that whole center. If you have to give yourself a little bit of help, do that to get the sense. Rock that pelvis a little bit. Now, can you let go of your glutes and keep this core strong? There you go. Now slide across the body, hinge at the hip. So we hinged earlier, and then just tip into this. It's not about how far down you go, it's about hinging the hip. So where you're gonna feel this is you're gonna feel this all the way from your armpit, down the side of your body, through the hip, all the way down the outside of your leg. And on the front leg, you're gonna feel it all the way from your ankle up the inside thigh. Breathe into it, lengthen through your crown. Keep breathing. I'm going to help someone, so I'll be right back. Keep breathing. So what would be great for you is just arms like this, okay? And then hinge here, right there. That's it. Grow long in the crown. Head back. There you go. Grow long in the, there you go. That's your triangle today. For however long you can hold it, remember, for as long as you can, until you can't, and then rest until you can. Here we go, 2 more breaths. And then inhaling, rising up, back to center. Exhaling the hands down, give yourself a little break. Turn both feet to face forward. Take your hands up wide into 5-pointed star. Oh, and smile. Smiling yoga. Nice deep breath. Now, look at your arms. Can you look down your arms? Do you have this going on? Do you have the sag happening? What would it feel like to take the sag out? Now, the way I have to do that and not do this is I have to work to reach to each opposite wall. The work is in the arms right now. Smile. Draw that head back over your shoulders. Lengthen through the crown and smile. All right. Spin open that right foot. Hinge at the hips. The arms are ready to go already. And then tip. Hinge the other way. There you go. Keep breathing. You've already been that direction. So you're going to go, when you hinge, you're going to hinge this way. Okay? So hinge it. Yep, you got it right there. That's it right there. Sometimes it's not about how deep into triangle. When recovering from injury, you go, the fact that you walk into yoga class is enough. That is enough. Your triangle might look like this. That's a triangle. Okay? So work at your level. Perfection is per the individual. Breathing into it. Three more breaths. And inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, hands out. Drop those hands down. Give those shoulders a break. Shake them out a little bit. Okay? Right here, feet are facing forward. So I have a great example of no pelvic floor. When the core is relaxed, see how my knees go in? And when I engage it, the leg bones actually spin open on their own. All because I engage here. Now I still am a little bit knock-kneed anyway, but it's not nearly as bad when my core is engaged. Inhaling, exhaling, headed straight forward. Touch that floor. If you can't reach the floor, use a block, a chair, whatever is there to help you. Let those hands come connect to the earth. Drop out of your head, grow long in the head. Keep lifting through that belly button. It's almost as if you want to lift up your spine by lifting the belly button. The belly button's going to push that spine up a little deeper, lifting your legs out of their heels. Breathing into it. Now sink back. Feel it in the hips.
Sink back. There's a point of resistance where you can't go back anymore. Okay? Hang out there, just on the edge. It's like a balancing act. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Let it go. Breathe into it. Now walk your hands forward, coming back onto the weight into your hands. We're going to walk our hands forward, coming into just a wide angle downward facing dog. There it is. Let go of your head. What does it look like in your body? You might be using a chair. That's okay. Breathe into it. So I feel myself beginning to want to lift out of my right heel because my right hamstrings are kind of tight today. Sink back into your heels. Sink back into it. Breathe into it. Find the pause. Find the opening. Breathe into it. Walk those hands back. Okay, right here, draw those heels in and sink down in the hips, kind of into a crab looking thing. And remember, it's not about how far down you go, it's how far you can go. It might be right here, that's okay. Sink down. Now, feel the weight drop into your heels. Feel your weight drop into your heels. Place your left hand on your left knee, your right hand on your right knee, coming up. Notice if you can slide your tailbone down. Now your shoulders, this is the one place your shoulders can be up on your ear just because of the shape of the posture. Belly button to your spine, only at your level. Use the chair, support yourself with the chair. Sink a little bit lower and then lift up. Lower and up, lower and up. We're just pressing through it. 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up. Woo! Hands up overhead. Exhaling out. Sun arms, clear that aura out, clear out that feeling. Let go of anything you don't need. Nicely done. And we're going to turn and walk back to the front of the mat. And so feet are hip distance apart. We're going to do a little bit of balance from here. Find something that you can lock your gaze in on. All right, so we've opened those legs laterally, so we'll do tree. We're going to start on our opposite leg. So we're going to start on the left foot. For most of us, that's the non-dominant foot. Not everybody, but most of us. Square off those heels, the hips, sink into that left foot and open that right knee, bringing the foot under your knee or above the knee without hooking it on the knee. Then if you have the space and you want to add your arms, go right ahead and do that and find your breath. Three more breaths. Lock in on that drishti. 2 more. Last one. Step out of your tree. Do your best to protect that hip and ankle. You might want to give it a little bit of love, circle it around. Sometimes the circles is all that you can do, and that's okay. Then coming back into mountain. Pouring into the right foot. Giving your weight to the right leg. Opening that left knee. Hands come up. Drop out of your shoulders. Engage that belly button back to the spine. Find your breath. Find your drishti. Notice how this leg is different than the other leg. Notice what happens when you slide your tailbone down and the belly button back, how much more solid of a tree you become. When you're strong from the middle, the rest of it, the tree can move around without falling down. Three more breaths. And last one, exhaling the arms down, stepping out of tree, circle that knee around the ankle, give it some love, and then coming back into mountain pose. Putting our hands on our shoulders right here, engage that center of your body, and then we're just gonna twist. So see if you can twist from the waist up. And so my face is still forward, my shoulders are going. Theoretically, my hips are staying static. And then I'm gonna add my upper neck too. Now, you gotta be careful with this because it might make you dizzy. And if it makes you dizzy, then keep your head forward. Notice I got a little dizzy. Some people can, some people can't. Do what works for you. And just feel that center of that back begin to open. Feel that belly button work back to the spine as the tailbone slides down. And it's not about how deep, it's about the opening of the ribs. Another way you can do this, if you have trouble reaching your shoulders, is you can do hands out like this. Okay? So, 3 more, 2 more, last one. Bringing it in, hands come down, find your mountain. Lift those toes up, find the 4 points, contact, set down the little toe, soften down the 4th toe, 3rd toe, 2nd, and 1st. Notice if that belly button is back, lifting up, dropping out of the shoulders, lengthening through the crown. We no longer have to support the world on our shoulders. Inhaling those hands up. Exhaling, swan dive down all the way to the floor. So if you want to squat for a minute, you can. If you want to go all the way back in the tabletop, you can. Coming back onto your mat. Okay, right here, just remember the tabletop. Notice how different it is now that we've been standing and we're on the floor. Walk those knees back and then lower yourself down onto the mat. Open your arms wide. If you have enough room wherever you are, open your arms wide. Palms are facing down, and this is a shoulder opener. So we're going to lengthen through the right foot and the left foot and engage that pubic bone down to the floor. And then with the left hand, we're going to begin to slide it up under our shoulder, and as if we're going to push up and have a look. So you're going to really feel this through the front of your right shoulder. So it's not a deep movement, but it is powerful. It also opens through the rib cage. All right, breathe into it. Let that right palm open wide and feel it press into the floor. 2 more breaths. And last one, roll down, back down to the floor. Turn your head the other direction. Open that left arm, palm is flat. Then draw that right arm in. Again, make sure that pelvic floor or that pelvic girdle is supported. And lift up, grow long in the crown. So if you ever watch a newborn baby, well, they're not usually newborn by the time they start doing this, but when they start to work to roll over, this is kind of the movement that they go. And their arms are always in the way. But little do we realize that this just feels super delicious. And it's kind of a half heart opener, opening one side at a time. Breathing into it. And then lowering down, nicely done. Coming back down to the center. Hands come up in front of us, and then bring those elbows up underneath. So in all of this, we've continued to support the center of the body with that belly button to the spine, pubic bone to the floor. Now, if you feel like your feet are open, bring them in. Bring them in as if you're holding a block between your feet, because that is part of the strength of the center of the body. Nice deep inhale. Feel the Sphinx. Notice that your elbows are underneath your shoulders, lengthening through your crown, dropping out of the shoulders. Find your breath. Three more. And then hands out in front of you, lowering back down. Slide them open, turn your head to face the left. Palms are flat, still strong through the middle. Bring that left hand in under your shoulder, open it up as if you're gonna roll open, just like we did in the beginning. Breathing into it, feel that opening of the right shoulder. Little less stressful this time because we've done it once. 3 more breaths. Feet are still working into the floor. And last one, lowering down, turning your head all the way to face the right. Flatten out, double check that core. Draw that right hand in, same thing as the beginning. Opening up. Sometimes you'll feel this release through the sacrum, the SI joints. That's kind of the knots in the back of your lower back. You get those little bump things. That's called the SI joint. This is such a gentle twist for that area. Sometimes they'll open on their own. 3 more breaths. Core is engaged. And lower down. Hands come forward. This time, bring your hands under the palms of your hands, under your shoulders, lengthen through your crown. Draw those elbows in and down and lift up into cobra. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a deep cobra. It can be a little mini baby cobra. Let those tops of those feet work down into the mat. Breathe into it. And then exhale, lower down. We're going to just take a break here in the low back for a second, forehead to the mat. Take a deep breath in. Feel that belly button rise up to the spine. Tailbone down. And then inhale, lifting all the way up. However deep is up for you. It may not be a full cobra. It might be a little mini cobra. 2 more breaths. And then sink all the way back into child's pose. Opening those knees wide. So when we do back bends, we're going to counterpose it with a forward fold. So a child's pose is a forward fold. Nicely done. Inhaling, rising up, spinning around. We're going to go onto our back. Everybody will be really happy to know we don't have a ton of time for core work today. So we're going to roll all the way down onto the floor. And we are going to do bridge today though, because we got the upper back with the back bend. And so let's get the lower part of the body. Hands come down beside you. Lock those feet in. Make sure that they're nice and flat, connected to the earth. If you have a block and you want to put it between your knees, you can. We're going to exhale and roll that back flat to the floor. And then inhale, release it out. And exhale, roll the back to the floor flat. So notice when you roll that back down to the floor, that the belly button is actually what's going down. And inhale. And as that happens, as the back goes flat on the floor, and press it flat on the floor, the tailbone scoops and kind of slides down the body. So the tailbone is right here on the lower part of your behind. Okay? So we're still holding that flat, pressing the feet into the floor. On the next inhale, we're gonna prepare to lift up on the exhale into full bridge. So lifting up, there it is, there's your bridge. Knees are working together to hold that block. If you don't have a block, imagine that you have one, or a beach ball that you don't want the wind to catch. Breathing into it. Engage your glutes and lift a little bit higher. A lot of times when the lifting higher is where we begin to lose our beach ball. So make sure that those knees are still working together. Looking up at the ceiling, don't turn your head in this posture. It's very hard on the neck. Breathe into it, 5 more breaths. Three more, slow it down. 2 more. And last one, full expression, lift it up there, and then exhale, roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Drawing those knees into the chest. For those of you where child's pose doesn't work, and some of the forward stuff doesn't work, and I suggest that you lie on your back, this is child's pose right here, lying on your back with the knees and your armpits. Child's pose, okay? Bring those knees in, lengthen through the left leg, keep the right leg in. All right, so if you have a strap and you want to use it, you can, you don't have to, but draw that knee in, take a hold of your big toe if you can reach it, and lengthen through that foot. So this is as straight as my leg goes. Even with a strap. Find your breath. Two more. And then release that knee back, or the heel back down in. Give yourself another draw in through the knee. Bring the left knee to meet it. Switch legs. Right leg goes straight. Left knee comes in, draw it in. Take a hold of that big toe or the joint of the big toe and lengthen through. Ooh, hello. Sometimes the body will say, not today, and you honor that. It might just be knee into the chest today that you do. It might be simply lying on the floor that you do today. Breathe into it. And release that heel down. Draw that knee in, give yourself another draw in through the knee. And then release it out. And reach your hands up overhead, point the toes. Reach, take a deep breath in, reach, really breathe in as far as you can and then let out with a big sigh. Ugh. That was kind of a half big sigh. Let's do it again. Nice deep breath in. Reach, let it out, big sigh. And then ask yourself, oh great wise self, what else do I need? If you need more twisting, now's the time to do it. If you need a blanket to cover up for Shavasana, now's the time to do that. But find yourself honoring what the body says. And as you're ready to prepare for Shavasana, lengthen through your right foot. Give it a little wiggle, make sure it completely releases. Lengthen through your left foot. Give that a little wiggle, make sure it really releases. And then notice if lying flat on the floor is good for you. And if it's not, let your feet come to standing and drop your knees together. And then feel your breath grow shallow. As your eyes close and your mind slips away, not here, not there, thinking, thinking, thinking. We live in a world of thinking. Stop. Feel the tremble of stillness. As thinking creeps in, stop. Feel. Stop. Breathe. Stop and be. And gently begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bringing yourself back to now. And as you're ready, roll to your side. Take a moment here on your side. Really feel your body come fully back into itself. And as you're ready, press up. Bringing your hands to your heart. We're going to end with 3 Ums today. So we'll take a nice deep breath in and let it out. Deep breath in to Om. May peace fill your heart today. May you step easily through the day. Namaste.